Hey, Rebo here, and welcome to my channel. I'm back in the US, back in my garage. I had 2 days, well, going to and from work only, of riding the Ducati Multistrada V4S, wearing my Ducati shirt. I didn't take this to Italy with me. I actually took another one that is black. I don't know, I think the red just kind of sticks out a little bit much, and I didn't want to seem like too much of a fanboy when I was there. So anyway, today's subject: why do I need 170 horsepower? Why do we think we need anything over 600 cc's, 700 cc's? What used to be a bigger end bike is now mid-range and lower mid-range. It's kind of amazing. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is why do we think we need these bikes that are so big and powerful? Because honestly, we don't. So let's talk about it. So some of these bikes, including the one behind me, they're a bit of overkill. And it just seems like the bikes are getting more powerful, even though they're having to meet a lot of these emission standards, especially with the EU, United States. It's more specific to the different states. But the bikes just keep getting bigger. I was happy on a 300, I was happy on a 500, I was happy on a 700, a 660, and a 790, and now all of a sudden, what do I have, 1158 on the Ducati Multistrada. We have V4s and stuff. Now this obviously isn't but like, look at this. Why do we think that we need that kind of power when really, unless we're competing on the racetrack, it's really unusable power that it's going to do nothing but get us into trouble. And I can certainly tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the horsepower and torque has gotten me in trouble. It's kind of hard to use all of it, but it's just so much fun. It's just so exciting, and it's so like, it's just, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just a lot of fun. So I want to get a conversation going below, and I want you guys to just, and girls, to say, why do we think we need more horsepower, we need more power, we need more torque than we actually could use? I mean, really, what is the point? What is the point of having a Triumph rocket? What's the point of that when you have that much insane torque? What's the point of having some of these street legal bikes that are 200 horsepower and weigh just barely around 400 pounds? I mean, why? Why do we think we need that? Is it really necessary? Do we think that maybe in the future there's going to be a move kind of going backwards to something a little bit more realistic? You think so? I don't know. Visiting the Ducati factory was a bit eye-opening for me. And looking at a lot of the old bikes in the Ducati museum was kind of part of that experience, because you got to see that there are some of these bikes that have insane history with really fast lap times that are a fourth of the CC of what we're seeing. I mean, look at Moto 3 and look at Moto 2. Now, Moto 2, all of Moto 2, they're all Triumph motorcycle engines. I think they're 790s. Every single Moto 2 engine is absolutely a Triumph motor. They all use the exact same motor and it's a 790. But in Moto 2, I forgot what CC they are, but it's not a big CC. But when you look at the difference in the times between that and MotoGP, it's really not a ton. And when you look at some of the history and some of the fastest laps, they're not the biggest bikes. So a lot of it has to do with unusable power. So I'm going to be getting, for example, an RC390. Now you're going, what the hell would you buy an RC390 for? Well, the track that I'm going to go take it to, which is Jennings, it's in Florida, but it's close to the Georgia border. Not a lot of straightaways, and it's specifically designed for motorcycles, and I will probably have significantly more fun with that bike than I would taking a leader bike, for example. I just think that we've reached this point where we kind of want what we want, and a lot of it has to do with bravado, a lot of it has to do with our testosterone and what what we want and what we think is cool and sounds good, when realistically we're not really using hardly any of the horsepower that we can legally on the street. So really on the street, do we need something more than a 700? I mean, now let's look at this from another aspect. If we're going to be taking a pillion and loading up with saddlebags and a top case and going long distance, you know what? I do. I want a heavier bike and I want more power, so I have the torque, I have the ability to pull around, get out of trouble. But on some of the other bikes, when you're just riding, why do we need this power? So that's the question, and that's what I would like to ask everyone. Why do we need all of this power? Why do we want this power? I think this will be a pretty good conversation for everyone to have. I really thought about this a lot when I was over in Italy, and I spent a decent amount of time, if some of you have been tracking like the Instagram and stuff, I spent a lot of time, like 2.5 days, riding a Ducati Monster 620 Dark. It's like a 20-year-old bike, no ABS, no traction control, and I was in the twisties, in the mountains, and yeah, I would have had, some faster riding up the mountains and stuff with a bigger bike, but there were so many twists and turns. I had a blast. I had an insanely good time, and I didn't need to have a 1200cc bike. I didn't have to have a leader bike. Would it have been great for me to have the Multistrada V4S? Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think there was only twice in 2.5 days where I actually even got into 6th gear on that 620 Dark Monster. I think we can have a lot of fun with smaller bikes, but is it the marketing that's pushing us to buy these bigger bikes, or is it us? Let's talk about it. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe if you want. It's been raining pretty bad. I just came back from 2 weeks away, and I actually have to leave on a business trip, so I'm a little slow on doing reviews and doing things because I haven't been home and I'm not going to be home. So I thought this would be a really good subject to talk about. Please like, please subscribe. This is Remo. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye-bye.